Good evening. I'm Tracina Gray with a CTV News update. An early morning fire in Laurel displaces 6 people. It happened on the unit block of A Street at about 2 o'clock this morning. When crews arrived, they saw flames tearing through the upper floors of the 3-story home. Firefighters were able to put it out with no injuries. The cause remains under investigation. Meantime, in a separate incident, a late morning fire on the 8300 block of Cagle Road in Fort Washington left 3 adults displaced. The Prince George's School Board is deadlocked over ethics findings after a panel is blocked from proceeding by the members under investigation. A vote not to accept the findings of the board's citizen-led ethics committee came during a 4-hour meeting Wednesday night. According to Maryland Matters, Chair Juanita Miller is awaiting legal counsel to determine how to proceed. Meantime, the report, which was supposed to be confidential, has now been leaked to numerous lawmakers and the media. Attorney Glenn Ivey is representing 3 of the accused members.
I think the substance of what they're trying to do with these claims of ethics violations is just way off the mark. It's unsubstantiated. In fact, a lot of the information in it is just false and directly contradicted. So clearly they're not going to get a fair hearing at the school board level. So, we have to find a place where we're going to have a neutral and objective decision maker to review it.
These are confidential, and yet so many people it's been leaked to so many different people. There are so many people who actually know what the substance of these allegations are.
Yeah, it's another aspect of how unfair this was. Before they became my clients, my wife and my son got mailed copies of these complaints that had no return address. So clearly there was somebody, I guess, on the ethics panel or working in coordination with them that mailed these out, trying to do it anonymously to undermine the school board members, because then we're caught between a rock and a hard place. The allegations have been made public, but we're bound by confidentiality rules, or at least my clients are, and they can't respond to them publicly. So I think it's added another layer of unfairness to this whole process.
The accused school board members filed a complaint about Miller last month with the State Board of Education. The chair, who has been a vocal critic of the younger elected members, has now laid out a process that could result in members being removed from office via the State Ethics Commission. A work group tasked with reviewing pandemic-related spending gets few answers from the Maryland Department of Labor. That, according to State Comptroller Peter Francho. Francho's work group held its 3rd meeting yesterday afternoon, and the topic was unemployment benefits and problems we've heard about over the last year and a half, including fraud and the inability to get assistance.
In addition to the customer service, well, why can't you answer the phone? The big question was, how much of the $13.2 billion do you believe went directly to organized criminal conspiracies in this country and outside of our country? And that's the main question. And they know the answer to that. We're estimating $2 billion of the $13 billion. It could be higher. They know the answer, and we know that they know it. They just came forward yesterday and said, no, we don't know. We'll get back to you.
Some Democrats have called for the ouster of Maryland's labor secretary. Meantime, the comptroller's next work group is scheduled for the end of August. It will examine pandemic spending and emergency procurements. President Joe Biden is pushing for more Americans, including federal workers, to get vaccinated. The president announced yesterday that federal workers and contractors will have to get vaccinated. Employees who decline vaccinations will have to undergo weekly COVID testing, wear masks on the job, and practice social distancing. The new rule will impact more than 2 million civilian workers. CTV News spoke with a retired federal worker about the president's decision.
I thought it was a good idea because, as you can see, COVID hasn't gone away. So I think that it's important to make sure that people are doing what they need to do, such as getting the vaccine. And if they're not willing to do that, then they should get tested. to make sure that they're not putting other people's lives in jeopardy.
Meantime, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser has reinstated the indoor mask requirement for all people 2 years old and older, regardless of vaccination status. The new mandate will go into effect tomorrow. The latest COVID numbers indicate a sharp increase in the numbers over the past month. On July 1st, there were only 75 confirmed COVID cases statewide. Today, that number is 526. In Prince George's for the month of July, there have been in total 1,119 confirmed cases. The positivity rate, which was at 0.55% on July 1st, is still rising. It now stands at 2.73%. No one has died of COVID in Maryland since yesterday. 220 people remain in the hospital. You're watching CTV News. I'm Tracina Gray. Coming up, Prince George's police search for a serial robber. The story after the break.
We might root for different teams, but we all respect the game. And we can all root for each other when we wear a mask. Mask up, America.
Welcome back. Police are hoping you can help them stop a one-man crime spree. This is surveillance video of the suspect in action. Investigators say the armed bandit targeted at least 6 businesses in the county between June 24th and July 22nd. Armed with a knife, the suspect targeted a supermarket, department store, a fast food restaurant, a convenience store, and a grocery store. The suspect remains at large. If you know who he is or have any information, police want to hear from you. Nearly 21,000 Uber drivers in Maryland will be getting a $100 check in the mail, thanks to a settlement between Uber and a number of states, including Maryland. It's all related to that 2016 data breach when hackers were able to get the personal information of Uber drivers. The company did not report the hack until November 2017. Uber has agreed to pay $14 million to the state, making it the largest multi-state data breach settlement to date. Students with contracts at several University of Maryland dorms owned by Medco no longer have to be financially responsible for their housing during the pandemic. The change from the Maryland Economic Development Corporation comes after nearly a year of refusing to assist students who couldn't return to campus. That in spite of the university crediting students who use traditional student dorms. An attorney representing more than 100 of the affected students say he hopes to see a full resolution soon.
Medco reached an agreement with the University of Maryland that some students would be relieved of their obligation, but not all. And they set some arbitrary criteria. And so some students were no longer had to be represented by us and others did. And students were concerned because they're starting their careers. They don't want to have a negative credit rating. They don't want to have a lawsuit against them. And that never happened. And now it appears that they're not going to go forward against the students. So we're very pleased. We're just sorry that it had to take 11 months for these students to get the same type of treatment that the students in university housing received months ago.
Medco, a quasi-governmental agency, owns the South Campus Commons dorm and Hawthorne Apartments located near the UMD campus. Corrections officers at the state's largest prison say they have been understaffed for years, putting them in an unsafe environment. This according to the Officers Union, AFSCME, Council 3. Last weekend, inmates attacked an officer at Eastern Correctional Institute in Somerset County. The union alleges there is a ratio of 96 inmates per officer, giving inmates the upper hand. The union is demanding more staff, more resources for maintenance, and compensation for longtime officers who have been working at the facility for 20 years. The state says, as of this month, 98% of the facility positions have been filled. And still to come on the news, a return visit with our pet of the week. Stay with us.
Children are spending more time at home. Teachers, parents, neighbors, and friends, it's up to you to keep them safe. Now more than ever, it's important to stay connected. by phone, video chat, and social media. If you have concerns or see changes in a child, be there for them. Ask questions. Seek help. Report suspected child abuse or neglect.
A local professor highlights women who escaped slavery during the Revolutionary War. Karen Cook Bell is the author of Running from Bondage. She teaches U.S. and African American history at Bowie State University. Cook Bell says one of the people who stood out to her was Margaret Grant. She says Grant disguised herself as a white male to flee bondage.
Another story in the book is the story of Jenny, who was 25 years old, and she escaped slavery not only pregnant, but she carried with her her 2-year-old daughter, Winnie. And at the time that her enslaver placed an advertisement for her escape, she had been on the run for 7 months.
Cook Bell's novel also features other women who attempted to escape slavery. Her book came out earlier this month. To the NBA, after one season with the Washington Wizards, Russell Westbrook is headed to the Los Angeles Lakers. The Wizards traded the superstar to the Lakers last night for 3 players and a first-round pick. He'll join LeBron James and Anthony Davis, 2 of the best players in the league, as the Lakers try to get back to championship contention. Meantime, in the first round of the NBA draft, the Wizards drafted forward Corey Kispert from Gonzaga to Major League Baseball 2 years after winning the World Series. The Washington Nationals are breaking up the team. The Nats have traded pitcher Matt Scherzer, a 3-time Cy Young Award winner. Scherzer and all-star shortstop Trea Turner have been shipped to the Los Angeles Dodgers for 4 prospects. The Dodgers won the World Series last year, and the trade gives them a great chance to repeat. And now time for the Pet of the Week. Meet Ernie. This guinea pig would be perfect for anyone looking for a first pet. He'd also make a great addition to any family. Ernie and his brother, Bert, were found in a container in a park.
He is probably one of the calmer of our guinea pigs right now, as we have many, many, many of them. And he's just a lot of fun when he's running around.
If you'd like to adopt Bernie, call 301-780-7200. Meantime, if you're partial to felines, officials say there's an adoption special for cats and kittens every Wednesday. For details, contact Animal Management. Let's get a quick check on our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 64. Saturday, partly sunny with a high near 82. Sunday, partly sunny with showers expected in the morning. Daytime temps reach a high near 81. Monday, sunny with a high near 85. And now for the community calendar. The Prince George's Department of Parks and Recreation will resume rentals for facilities starting Monday, August 2nd. If you are planning a birthday party, wedding, or reunion, the county offers a variety of venues for your event. Rentals include historic sites like mansions, manors, and churches, community centers, and more. For a full list of rentals, visit pgparks.com. And that's your CTV News Update. Thanks for watching. I'm Tracina Gray. Be sure to tune in again on Monday. Good night.